Hi guys, this is GlassArrow and today I'm going to bring you the review of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Play as Kai Zack. He is the first one in the Crisis Core franchise to release by Play as Kai. The design, as you can see here, because he is the first Final Fantasy Play as Kai figure released this year, there is no 30th anniversary stickers around, but there's still the Play as Kai logo and also the stickers authentic of approved depend upon different regions he is released. Okay, so the front design is more toward tending like the ways of Final Fantasy 15 with like a rectangle styles over the art box, and in the back still the same Zack poses of Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7. Okay, here he is inside. Right, and a little story about him. The mystery behind the mass disappearance of a soldier operatives and the tale of Zack's harsh fate. The original story of the Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII game. Okay, now let's take a look inside. Okay, here he is outside the box. As you can see, Zack comes in the same style of suit of the soldier, same as Cloud from the Final Fantasy VII. Overall, the figure looks very plain, but I think that's get the job done for Zack, because as his character, he's like some kind of this plain cool guy that Cloud can live up to. Okay, so now I'm going to take him out of the rotating base and let's see how he's measure up. Okay. So he stands roughly around 25 to 26 centimeters. So a lot of you has been asking how about he compare to Cloud Strife from the Final Fantasy VII remake. So here he is, Cloud Strife. Okay. The problem, as we can see here, is that Cloud is a little bit more taller than Zack. This is partly due to because his hair. As you can see that the face height of Zack is a little bit taller than Cloud, but the spiky overall hairstyle of Cloud make Cloud taller than Zack. Now the problem is that a lot of you may know that Zack is taller than Cloud in the canon and the Final Fantasy games. In detail, he is supposed to be taller than him for at least about 10 centimeters. So scale wise, it's not like 100% up to scale, because he should be a little bit higher when comparing to the Cloud Strife 7 remake model. But the important thing is that Square has never say that they're going to release a scale figures. They release a non-scale action figure, so it's up to them, depends on any series they want to do it to scale or not. But overall, I think it's not that big of a deal. As you can see here, they can put it together and feel quite nicely. Okay, and here are all the accessories that they gave with him. First, there are two sets of hands, the open normal hands and also the sword grabbing hand that he can grab on both sides of the hand. Okay, and this is the peg which you can put in the Buster sword and in his back. I'll show you later with how to do this peg. Now for the main real thing, his weapon of choice, the legendary Buster sword. Okay, so at first glance it looks very great. The decorative overall, stylish and everything, perfectly accurate to the game Crisis Core, as the gold brassing over here and a little bit of decoration and shading overall looks great. The material slot over here and a little bit of side battle damage over the blade. Alright, but I'm not sure that this is a QC issue problem or not, but my Buster sword has some kind of like a black ink spill over on the silvery blade, which the pattern is not quite sure with the battle damage and other stuff. So I think there's some be a little bit QC issue here. Okay, but other than that, the other part looks okay. Now for comparison, this one is the Buster Sword from the 7 Remake Cloud Strife. You can see that the overall design took a lot from the Crisis Core version. The 7 Remake doesn't have the gold brass, but other than that, the material slot and everything looks almost perfectly the same. Just like they come from the same mold, and the size is almost identical. Okay. Now onto the main figure himself. I have seen a lot of people who already got this figure complain a little bit that his face is a little bit too cute. And comparing to the one that they already showed in the Comic-Con or the artwork that they have released with him, I think he looks okay. It depends on how you include the lightning effect on his face. His face is usually like a very cute, a little bit cute, pretty guy like, and also there are scar over here. Which this part I think it could be a little bit more intense with the coloring and the washing and other stuff. But other than that, the hair sculpt and the face sculpt looks okay, very good by my standard. Okay, and in the back you can see that the spike hair and everything is sculpted nicely, and the color of the black has a little bit of gray shading all over. So they haven't come over all over the details just like that. Right? Next is his soldier uniform. The standard soldier uniform, which is going to become the first class soldier in the story. The shoulder guard and the suit. This suit is just like from the Cloud 7 remake. The color and everything and the fabric just look like the cloth material. Okay. And also over here, there is some discoloration of the brown. See, this guy has a lot of QC issue that I got. I'm not sure that it's all the production line or not, but as you can see here, the brown is a little bit messy over the straps over here also. Okay. Other than that, the materials is okay, quite almost identical with the Cloud Strife remake version. So if you kind of like that feeling with that figure, I think Zack will not disappoint you. Okay, the flesh and the color of the skin is okay, a little bit on the pale side with some pink shading all over. Alright, and on the back here, the brown strap. There are also some coloring issue over here also. So a lot of problem with the coloring issue, but if you're not too in detail with him, I think overall the figure looks decent enough for Play as Kai standard. Okay, and this is where you can take out his peg in the back. Alright, it's a little bit tight. Okay. Alright. Yeah, there's a hole and you can put this peg inside over here to join to like he carrying the sword on his back on inside the material slot. Alright. Be cautious though, because this thing is very tight. If you put it in too hard, it will be a little difficult to take it out. Okay. Okay, now for the articulation part. The head operates normally as other Play as Kai, turning right sideways and also flexion and extension. Nothing strange here. The shoulder pad is also the same rubber plastic, so you can move not to limitation of the shoulder arc of movement. And also a swivel over here on the upper part of the biceps and the elbow joint. Okay, and the wrist joint. Okay, everything works fine. For the torso, you can bend and extend, swivel sideways, but be careful because the belt in this part, if you swivel too hard, it can be displaced and will cause the thing to wear down a lot. Okay, So also beware of the back, because this part will be stuck inside the hole here if you're not careful enough when bending or bending the figure. Alright, for the legs, swivels on the top of the thighs over here. Okay, and this thing is a new thing to me. You can see that there is a shoulder over here, but in the all other players' Kai, their design is a little bit different from Zack. As you can see from Zack here, if he stands normally, it looks very great because there is almost like a no line over here, comparing to the older players' Kai, where you can see the distinguished part of the leg here. But the problem comes when he try to flex his knees. It is the still same double knee joint, but with new design of the clothing and everything. But when you flex his knees, as you can see here, it will show a large gap between the front and also in the lower part. So it may be a good thing if he stand normally, but when you flex his knee, it will not look that great. So I'm not quite sure which kind of the design I prefer. The old one, I'll show you the old one. When the flexion of knee of the old one, okay, so there's still a gap, but as you can see that when he's standing the first, it's still there also feel like some kind of gap, so it doesn't change much. But with the new design, it will look very strange, because this part seems like it's supposed to be attached to the upper part here. Okay, and for the foot joint, okay, nothing's new here. Alright. Okay, in summary for this Players Kai figure, Zack from Crisis Core Final Fantasy. Overall, it is an okay figure. The good thing on this figure is that his hair sculpt, the face looks okay to on very good side. The sword and everything is perfectly sculpted. But the problem comes with him is that there are a lot of coloring issue, QC issue maybe on this figure. From the cloth to the sword and everything, it looks like Square just kind of like to pump out figures without quality control issues over them before going into the market itself. And also there are some questionable design on the new design of the knee joints. But other than that, it is a good sign that they try to release other figures than the main characters from the main series. So I think a lot of Zack fans already pre-order this figure, so it is okay. So you may be reassured that his look not that bad as others have complaints. But there's still a lot of room improvement for this figure right here. Okay, thank you everyone for watching this video. If you like this kind of stuff, please give it a like, and I'm going to continue review Players Kai figures and other figures of my interest in the future, including from the DC and Marvel comics and also Final Fantasy figures. Thank you very much. GlassArrow out.